What's up?
James, how are you?
I'm doing well. Can y'all hear me okay?
We can.
You have
What's going
some
on?
of the cleanest audio quality of any of the people yet, so you sound
Yeah, we
great.
appreciate that.
Oh, thank you. Well,
So
Colin, thank you so much for this opportunity.
You're very welcome.
The thing I wanted to bring up pertains to Sony's responsibility regarding Returnal's inability to run on some PS5s.
Yeah, this is weird. Do you know? Well, so we've talked about it on the show. Our own associate editor, Ben, had us literally send his unit back. So what, are you experiencing this too?
Yeah, so I, just like Ben, I'm one of the people who I still can't even play the game. And every time I've talked to Sony, they don't really care, and they just deny that there's anything wrong with the PS5s.
Yeah, that's so weird because I think, Dustin, what ended up happening with Ben? He ended up getting the right person, right? And then, like, you just got to get the right person sometimes.
Right. Yeah. Ben, well, I think he had better luck specifically on the phone than with chat. But yeah, it's definitely weird because it's something that, based on conversations that Sony had, or Ben had with Sony, that they are aware of some type of issue, whether it's Returnal, that's not software related, which is just really weird to me. Is there some kind of ray tracing core or something? It just doesn't make sense to me that it would be just that game, but clearly it's something that enough that they're willing to take repairs in certain scenarios.
Yeah, that's frustrating. So James, when you play it, what ends up, do you have the same thing Ben has where you like can't get out of the, like, go through doors or something? What's going on with yours?
So Ben, I believe that he was having trouble that he couldn't get through that opening cutscene where Celine finds her own body. I'm able to get past that, and I got an autosave after that. So when I start the game, everything looks pretty normal. And I can typically get about 10 to 15 minutes, and then it crashes every time. It's the same error code every time.
That's so
and it's just incredibly frustrating because I've really loved the amount of this game that I've played so far.
No,
but I can't play more than 15 minutes.
That's so mystifying. That's one of those things that would annoy me too, because you would know that it's not. People would almost be like, it's not really happening. It's like when people are always annoying on the internet. Like that's not a problem, but it's definitely happening to you and others. It is. I feel like you just. Well, what's your plan? I mean, what do you want to try to do?
I don't know. I'm gonna keep trying to contact Sony, but what's what even magnifies it for me is that when I contact Sony, they deny that anything's wrong with the PS5. They say that I need to either contact Housemarque because clearly it's something wrong with the game. And then I contact Housemarque and they're like, no, Sony knows it's a hardware issue. You need to talk to them. So everybody seems just kind of be sending me in circles.
Yeah, that sucks.
I know Ben bought his PS5 directly from Sony. But since I didn't get mine directly from Sony, I got mine through a GameStop pre-order. They're like, oh, well, maybe you should talk to GameStop because GameStop clearly sold you a bad PS5. But it's like, you gave GameStop the bad PS5.
Right. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, that's a really shitty position. I wish these are one of those things where, like, when we would hear about these things at IGN, when I was still friends with Sony, I would try to help people to get in touch with the right people, but I don't have those connections anymore. So sorry, James, we're talking 10 years too late. But yeah, go ahead.
Related to that though, should what I kind of wanted to get into was, should PlayStation customers be concerned that this is a first-party game that doesn't run on the hardware that it's designed for, and Sony doesn't really seem to care?
Yeah, I think there should be concern because we were talking about this on the show too a little bit. There are just certain weird things happening right now with the game, with PlayStation. I don't know that any of it adds up to much more than like a hill of beans, really. But it's like, we know that there's a delay of what wasn't a game, Dustin, delayed on PS5 only upcoming, like a PS5 iteration.
Ghost Warrior.
Oh yeah, Ghost Warrior Contracts 2 or 3 or whatever. And then also Biomutant, they said that they're unable to get that game running on PS5 at better than 1080p. And there are these just weird. There's something weird wrong with the SDK. I don't know. And I agree with you, by the way, James, that Sony publishing this game and then passing the buck to Housemarque is very peculiar, because it is their game. Housemarque has no control over that.
Right.
So, yeah. Well, I feel for you, James. I'm very sorry to hear that. But do other games work for you? Everything else works?
I've actually been really fortunate, even in the games that everybody's having crashes, like Immortals Phoenix Rising and some of the more common ones. I've had actually no other crashes on my PS5 except for Returnal.
Yeah, it's so weird. And that's not good either. Like you're bringing up these other games too. Like Sony's probably, it's got to have something to do with the stability of the firmware or something. I would assume this would be fixed by firmware, but it would be really weird when it, like if your unit just happened to have had like some sort of very different component, but none of the core components would be different. So I don't know. This is an interesting
The
one.
concerning thing for me is just always when customer support starts acting fucky. I don't know how else to put it. Like,
Yeah.
I had a thing where my last TV, my Samsung, got a green line down the middle, and they refused. I mean, the TV was just over 2 years old. They refused to look at it. They refused to do anything until I found a forum post where there was a bunch of other users talking about it. And as soon as I brought up that forum post, suddenly they were much more willing to get someone to come look at it. They ended up giving me like a prorated refund. I was like, that's weird. That kind of sounds like you're trying to avoid a class action lawsuit or something.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if it's quite that widespread, but you got to wonder when they start trying to like, check with GameStop or, wait for a firmware. It's like, what do you, is that clearly they know about something going on,
right?
Especially since Housemarque knows about it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree.
So at what point, though, do I just stop buying games for my PS5? At what point, because I am fortunate enough that I was able to get both a Series X and a PS5. At what point, though, do I only play Sony first-party games on my PS5 and just play everything else on my Series X because I know it'll work?
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you for that. I think for two reasons, like you said. Number one, you know it'll work, and number two, Sony's not really being very amenable to fixing the problem. So why would you continue to give them money? I don't blame you for having that outlook. I would say make that if you're comfortable making that switch and it's easy for you, then to do it immediately, because ultimately it's the only way you can really talk to them in ways that mean anything is with money. And it's frustrating to hear that's happening with you, James. So at least you have a solution though, which like the other console, which is nice, which a lot of people might not have access to, but let us know, write in and let us know if they fix this. I'll be interested to
I'm gonna keep trying to get Sony to give me a solution, because I still, even with everything, they won't refund Returnal, they won't do anything with that, so I still have this $70 game that I can't play.
Yeah,
but I'll write in, I'll let you know.
Yeah, let us know. I'm gonna chronicle this. I want to know more about this. We can kind of use you and Ben as like proxies for the experience and see how it goes. All right, James, we appreciate you. Have a good rest of your day.
Yeah, thank you so much.
See you, James.
Bye.